So today, as I said, we'll talk about one of the diagrams, which is called the use case diagrams. And then if we have time, we'll talk about the activity diagram, inshallah. We need to know, as I said, we need to know what is the use case diagram and the guidelines for drawing the use case diagram and the activity diagram. And then after that, talk about how to write the use case description, guidelines and practice on that, inshallah. So let's start. Now, you know, when you start your project, you need to go, you will collect the requirement, and you will start what? You will start, you know, somehow identifying the needs or the stakeholders' needs, okay? And after you collect all the requirement, you need to turn all these requirement into a model before you start the implementation. Now the model, you know, they are logical, okay? Because what? Because independent on the application, because somehow it's more like a manual, and it's has nothing to do with the implementation. As you said, you can do the implementation any language you want, but the models are more logical than physical things. Also, we will have to develop the use case for each scenario of the requirement. So you can draw this use case. The use case is more interactive diagram that show exactly what is happening in the system environment. Diagram may include descriptions, okay, to show some of the activities that the user can perform inside the system. This is the main purpose of the use case diagram. It is actually interact with its environment, and also show what kind of process that the user can do in the system. So for example, a student can register, can withdraw, can attend the class, okay, but he cannot record mark. He only can see mark, okay. A teacher can only do the mark recording. Now we also, there's another diagram called activity diagram, and the activity diagram is a separate diagram that shows how you know, the object receive and forward the data, or how the data move from one object in the system to another object in the system, and what happened to the data. So let's see now about the use case diagram. Now the use case diagram, when you need to draw the use case diagram, you need to ask yourself two questions. The first question is that, who is your system for? Are you gonna make your system for student? Are you gonna make your system for shopper? Are you gonna make your system for patients, or for customers, or renter, or anyone? So what is the system for? Is it serving? What is type of user the system is serving? So here you identify the user that will use the system, and also what it does, the system, what is the main functionality of the system. If you talk about the system for the college, you can say it has some functionality for the course, such as register course, add course, or some for the marks, add mark, remove mark, update mark, show mark, and so on. So you need to specify exactly what are the main functionality of the system. We call this in system analysis, we call it what? System functional requirement. System functional requirement. Now the users, or when you draw the use case diagram, you have okay, you have two users. One is called system user, which will use the system, and the other thing is called user goal, which is the use case that the user or the actor will use. So basically you have two things. You have the actor, or what we call it, the user, actor, okay, and you have what? And you have use case. And use case represent what? Represent operation that the system can do, and the actor is someone who is going to perform this action. Perform this action. So two things: actors and what? And the use case or the operation in the system. All the use case, then you will have what? Complete system requirement. Exactly what does the system do? Okay, this is the use case example. You can see here, now this is for the library, for example. This is just give you an information about what is exactly the use case means. So here we have the system border. It's more like a rectangle. You can draw like this, a rectangle that will show the system border. So here we go. You draw a rectangle that shows the system border, and after that you will have to write the system name here, system name in the top inside the this is the system name, okay, and then you have the use case inside. This is a use case, okay, this is another use case, this is another use case. So how many use cases here? 1 2 3 4 5. So this is basically the main operation for the system: overdue book, maintain book collection, borrow book, search collection, and return book. These are the main functions or use case inside the system. As you can see that outside the system we have actors. Now we have two actors. One is called librarian and the other one is called borrower, and each one has ability to do what? To do some of the operation or some of the use case, not everything. All right. Other actors such as personal office or register office, they can have some operation they can do. All right. Now, how do we draw this one? How do we draw this one? First of all, you have to identify what some of the business process. All right. So, what does the system do? We have some elements in the use case diagram. These elements are, the first one is the actor. The first one is the actor, and the symbol for the actor looks like this. And it also interact. There's some other interact with the system. They are not actor inside the system, but they need some interaction with the system. Okay. So we draw them like this one, actor, and we draw them like this. And what's the name of the actor? This is a main actor. This is just what interact with the system. It could be a human, it could be other machine or anything. We need association, which is the line between the actor and the use case. So if you have the system boundary like this, okay, and this is the system name here, okay. The first one is element is the actor. You draw the actor outside the system. This is the actor. An actor could be an interactor actor, like this one here, like this simple. And inside the system we have use case. We have the use case. All right. And now you draw a link or association between the actor and the use case to show which use case this actor can perform. Okay, you can add some notes in the system and do something. Now there's one thing here. Now the actor name should be a noun. It cannot be a verb, but the use case should be a verb. Show the boundary of the system as a circle. Now the actor could be a primary actor or secondary actors. Okay. Some of them, okay, they use most of the main function in the system. So they are directly use the main function in the system. So we call them what? Primary actor. Other, they are just what? They have a support role. They are not actually using the functionality. They just support the primary actor to do their operation. So for example, system administrator is just a support system for the system. He is not the primary actor. He's a secondary actor that do some support for the system. The IT people in general or the maintenance people in general, they're considered as a secondary actor. They are not actually using the functionality of the system, rather than they are just supporting the system in order to serve what? The primary actor. Now this is an actor. We can have generalization for the actor, still a customer, but we can do some generalization. So we can say the customer can be what? Can be corporate customer, for example, or individual customer, similar to what we learned, the relationship between classes. Same thing here. The customer can be generalized as a general customer. If you want a more specification, you can say corporate customer or individual customer. Now, the steps to draw that's the goal of drawing the course diagrams. Review the requirement definition. First of all, this is the first step. You need to know the system requirement exactly in order to be able to draw the use case diagram. Identify the boundary of the system, what is inside the system and what is outside the system, who are the primary actors of the system. So we have primary actor and we have what? Secondary actor, and what these actors can do inside the system. So this one can do these two operations, for example, and he cannot do the operation, while the other actor can do what? The other operation. All right, and also you have to identify the process or the major use case inside the system. When you know the system requirement, you will be able to identify the process inside the system. Then you need to identify who is going to use the system, what are the main actors that use the system, the primary actor. Secondary actor is not that important like the primary actor. And then you draw a boundary and you put the use case inside the boundary like this. Use case inside the boundary. And then after that you draw the relation, what can this actor do, which operation or which use case this actor can do and which cannot, which use case the actor cannot do. You review your diagram. Okay, you can also, after you review your diagram, you can split the customer into, for example, two customer, do some generalization. You can split this process into two processes instead of having two. This one is one use case, you can split it into two use case, for example, and so on. So first of all, you need to review the requirement definition, which is the first step here. Is very important in order to know what the system can do. Identify the boundary of the system, which is more like what is inside the system and what is outside the system. You have to identify the primary actors. They are very important to identify them, not like the secondary actor. And then after that, you have to identify the business process, or what we call the use case or the operation that inside the system. Review your diagram. You may need to split the customer or generalize the customer into two types of customers, or you can may need to split the use case into two separate use case, and so on. Let's draw the how we draw the class diagram. Now, how to draw the class diagram? First of all, you need to draw the main boundary of the system. Something like this. Give it a name. This is the system name. You write the system name here. System name on the top inside the boundary. Then you have to draw the main actors. Okay, so we have, for example, two actors. This is the first one and this is the second one. So actor one, number one, and I give it a name, actor two. So it's specify, when you give it a name, you know exactly the main job of it. Then you have to draw the case diagram inside the boundary, use case diagram, which is operation inside the system or the functionality of the system. And then after that, if you have secondary actor, you can add it. For example, let's say here this one is what is the admin, for example, okay. And then after that, you draw association. What can this one do and what can this one can do and what does the admin can do. So this is a very simple. Draw the boundary, which is the first one. Draw the boundary and give it a name. After that, you draw the actor, identify the main actors, and you need to specify the use case, okay, inside the system. And if you have a secondary actor like this one, you have to specify it, and then you can specify which use case this actor can do and what is what he cannot do as well. So let's now see the steps one by one using an example. So first step is what? Draw the system boundary. This is the system boundary, as you can see. After that, you give it what? A name. Should give it a name. For example, ATM banking system. This is the name of the use case diagram. After that, you have to draw the main actors. So for example, we have an actor called customer, which is the primary actor of the system. Then after that, you draw the use case inside the system. So we have withdraw, we have deposit, and we have what? Check balance, for example. Okay, and then after that, you have to add what? Association between the actor and the use case. So you draw association. What can this actor do? And if you have a secondary actor, you can add it if you want. If not, then no need to add anything. This is to explain how we draw the steps to draw the use case, the diagram. And you can see that this is the system boundary, this is the system name, this is the association between the actor and the use case inside. Now for the use case, we use verb. We have to use what? A verb. And for the actor, we use what? We use noun. So this is, for example, library system. Okay. For example, if you want to have the library system, okay, and the library system contain borrow book, return book, and browse book, and you have student who can use the library system. Okay, the library system, the student can be what? Can be, for example, bachelor student, or can be what? Master student, can be diploma student, can be advanced diploma student, and so on. So you can specify or generalize the student into more than one type. You can specify the secondary actor. For example, you can use this and this, which is the library employee is the primary actor, sorry. Right? So here we have, in this diagram, we have, for example, photographer. Okay, this is system for what? For camera system. So the system is called camera, as you can see that, and this is the boundary of the system. It is the same here. Okay, all right. And we have, in the first one, we have two things that for the camera, two operation: take picture and change what? Change the film. All right. The photographer can do both, can take picture and can what? Change the film. The second diagram is for the same system. So it is the camera, but we have open shutter, flash, and the close shutter. Okay. Now the photographer can do this. Okay. Why the one in the bottom is incorrect, where the first one is actually the correct one? Okay. So if you look at the second one, it has the use case what? Open shutter and flash and what? Close shutter. But this is incorrect. This is what? Incorrect, because it's internal behavior of the system. Okay, internal behavior of the system. For example, backup. Okay, when you do any system, the system will have an operation backup. The backup is done by the system itself. It is an internal operation. We can call it non-functional requirement. It's already included in the system, and the user has nothing to do with this operation. This is why what? This is wrong. This is the internal behavior of the system. Okay, you cannot include the internal behavior of the system inside the use case. But the first one is correct, because the customer can take picture and can change the film. Exactly, the camera cannot change the film by itself, and the camera cannot take the picture by itself without involvement from the photographer. So be careful when you draw the use case diagram. Stay away from the internal system behavior. This is an example. Okay, we're gonna draw an example case diagram for what? For a hotel. Okay, information system. So what's the name of the system? Okay, the name of the system is called Hotel Information what? Systems. We have two types of customer. One is called the group customer, and second one is what? Individual customer. So the main actor is what? Is customer. Okay, but we have two customer. Okay, two customer. One is a group customer, and the other one is what? Individual customer. Okay, let's continue. Now, tower group customer, who are those who made reservation. So the tower group can do what? Can make reservation. This is the first thing that they can do through a tower operator. So we have another one, another user called throw. This is what? This is another user of the system. It's called tower, and this is made reservation is a use case. Can draw in them, while individual customer make their reservation directly. Okay, but the individual customer, they do their reservation what? By themselves. Okay, so the group they can talk to the operator in order to do what? Reservation. But the individual, okay, can do the reservation by himself, okay, without talking to the operator. Now, another thing, both type of customer can book, so both of them can book, cancel. Now, the booking process clerk, so we have a clerk, handle what? Handle all the booking. So we have another one is what? The clerk. They may also check in and what? Check. This is another operation. This is another operation they can do. Okay. And now the front desk. This is another thing. Handle what? All check in and check out process. We understand the requirement. We understand what does the system do. It's all about booking a tower, a room, sorry, or check out, or check in, or cancel, or book, and so on. This is the main function of the system. And we have two customers, two actors, or actors are customer, and the customer can be group or individual. And we have the operator, and we have the clerk, the customer. And we can see that we have some operations such as make reservation, cancel, book, check in, and check out. So we got the general idea about what? About the system. This is the diagram. We draw what? We draw the main boundary of the system. This is the main boundary of the system. Okay, this line is the main. I'm not gonna draw anything. I'm just gonna show it to you like this. So this is the main boundary of the system. Okay, this is the main boundary of the system. That we draw this one first, and then the name of the system is here. So the name should be inside. Okay, written inside. This is the second step. It's called hotel what? Hotel system. We have actors. The first actor is what? It's called the customer, and then we have the clerk one, and we have the reception one. Okay, now the customer can be split into two types: group customer, or what? Or individual customer. This is written in the description, so I did a generalization. The customer can do what? Can do make booking, can cancel the booking, can check into the room, can check out the room. Okay, but the clerk have to look at what? To look at the booking, and have to look at the booking cancel, and the reception staff will look at what? Check in and check out operation. This is how we draw the system. Okay, first we identify the boundary of the system, the name of the system, who are going to use the system, the actors of the system, and what are the main use cases inside the system. So here we have what? Here we have 4 use cases. All these we took them from where? From the description. This is how we draw the use case diagram.